The Servant. This is the true story of the serial killer that will become a multi-millionaire just for being a serial killer. Surprise! He's been linked to up to 30 murders and had confessed to 10 of them. But over the years that followed, he retracted all his confessions. And now he's living freely among us, and he has become a multi-millionaire just for being a serial killer. Charles Sobhraj started off his life as a crook, not a serial killer. He would break in people's homes and cars, and he would steal anything he could get his hands on. But one day, he decided to fly from France to Thailand with his girlfriend. And once he was there, he came up with this scheme to rob Western tourists. So he befriends them, and he would spike their food and drinks with sleeping pills and other pills. And once they were out, he would rob their passports and belongings. And then he was out of that joint. While Charles Sobhraj is in Thailand, he befriends an American woman, a backpacker. And he wanted to drug her and rob her. But for some strange and weird reason this time, he would take her and throw her in the ocean, and she would drown and die. Of course, he did rob her also. But Charles Sobhraj doesn't stop there, because soon after, he would kill a Western tourist and rob him. And he would burn his body on the side of the road and leave it there. But this Western tourist's girlfriend gets suspicious of Charles Sobhraj, so she would go knock on his room and say, "Yo, Charlie, you seen my boy?" And she was just asking too many questions. So Charles Sobhraj did what was in his best interest. He drugged her and threw her in the ocean to drown. Guys, this warehouse frightens me. Fear of what's coming. Guys, I need your help. Please, don't let me go at these stories alone. Please, like this video. And please, subscribe to this channel. God bless you. Charles Sobhraj is making a very good living stealing these people. He's hard at work. But Charles Sobhraj is not a stupid man. He knows people are starting to get suspicious of him, and he has to leave Thailand. So he would invite this Dutch couple he had met in Hong Kong to come visit him. And once they were there, he would spike their drinks. And once they were out, he would strangle them, but they didn't die. So he would just burn them alive. And then he robbed their passports and belongings. And him and his girlfriend would fly to Nepal. While in Naples, Charles Sobhraj befriends a Canadian dude and an American girl. Then he would stab them and kill them and burn their bodies. But these murders will become very important in the future. So pay attention to this story. Anyway, Charles Sobhraj would take their passports and belongings, and he would use their passports, him and his girlfriend, and fly back to Thailand. And once they were in Thailand, they would go to India by road. this guy's out of control. While he's in India, he kills this guy and takes his passport. And he would fly with the guy's passport to Singapore. I don't even know how he does that. Anyway, then he would fly back to India. Then fly back to Thailand. No one is safe around this guy. Because sometimes he doesn't even want to kill people. He just overdrugs them when he's trying to rob them. And they die. And one time, he had a close friend that was actually helping him commit these crimes. And they had a falling out. And that friend was never ever seen again. Is that a true friendship? Leave it in the comments what you think. While he's in India, Charles Sabraj decides to go hard. He decides to do the impossible. And it really was impossible. He decides to rob 60 people at once. French engineering students he just met. So he would get 60 bottles of water and spike all of them and start handing out these waters to the students. But it works too quickly. The students start passing out too fast. So the other students get very suspicious and they attack Charles Sabraj and call the police. Charles Sabraj would be arrested for trying to drug those students and robbing them. He would be sentenced to 12 years in prison. They also tried to get him for other crimes he had committed in the past, but it was overturned due to lack of evidence. While he's in prison in India, Thailand wants to extradite him once India's done with him for the murders he committed in Thailand. And Thailand doesn't play around like that. They're most likely gonna execute him. And my man Charlie, he's a punk. He could kill but not be killed. So he comes up with this plan. He spikes some candy and he hands it to the prison guards. They pass out and he walks out. But then he lets himself get arrested and they would give him an additional 10 years in India. My man is super smart. Many years passed by and now Charles Sabraj, the servant, is in his 50s and he is released from the Indian prison. And guess what, folks? The 20-year statute of limitation in Thailand expired. So he's no longer facing any crimes in Thailand. And Charlie, he's just chilling like a villain. 6 years passed by and Charles Sabraj, the servant, decided to go on a vacation in Nepal. And Nepal doesn't have a statute of limitation at all. He would be arrested for the crime he committed 30 years ago with that Canadian dude and that American girl. Remember when I told you, pay attention, this crime would be important? You guys didn't believe me, did you? Anyway, he would be sentenced to 20 years in prison. He was released after 19 years, and now he's free and out and living among us. Charles Sabraj, the servant, would sell film rights and book rights to Netflix and others for $15 million. He would become rich for simply being a serial killer. I'm Ben Passioni, and I want to personally thank each one of you guys for watching today's video. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys appreciate me. Please comment your opinion about this story below. And please like, share, and subscribe. God bless you. I'm out of the streets.